Hello everyone, and welcome to History of the Ancient World. Today we're embarking on an epic journey back in time to meet the masterminds of the battlefield, the titans of strategy, the most famous generals of antiquity. These weren't just soldiers, they were visionaries whose decisions shaped empires, redrew maps, and whose legacies echo through the corridors of military academies even today. So, who were these legendary figures? When we think of ancient generals, one name often rises above all others: Alexander the Great, a prince from the small kingdom of Macedon. Alexander inherited a powerful army from his father, Philip II. But it was his own genius, his boundless ambition, and his unparalleled leadership that took this army and forged one of the largest empires the world had ever seen. In just over a decade, he marched from Greece to India, never losing a single battle. What made Alexander so unbeatable? It was a combination of factors. He was a master of combined arms tactics, brilliantly integrating his heavy infantry, the formidable Macedonian phalanx with his elite companion cavalry. He was incredibly bold, often leading the charge himself, which inspired unwavering loyalty in his men. Think of the Battle of Gaugamela. Facing a Persian army that vastly outnumbered his own, Alexander didn't flinch. He used a feint to draw the Persian cavalry out of position, opened a gap in their lines, and then led a decisive charge straight at the enemy king, Darius III. It was a high-risk, high-reward move that shattered the Persian army and effectively won him an empire. Alexander wasn't just a conqueror, he was a phenomenon. But let's rewind the clock a bit to the sun-drenched lands of North Africa. Here we find another giant of military history, Hannibal Barca of Carthage. If Alexander was the ultimate conqueror, Hannibal was the ultimate tactician, the boogeyman who haunted the Roman Republic for over a decade. His story is one of audacious strategy and relentless determination. Swearing an oath as a child to forever be an enemy of Rome, Hannibal dedicated his life to this cause. His most famous feat, of course, was crossing the Alps in winter with his army, including war elephants, a move that was considered completely impossible at the time. He descended into Italy like a bolt from the blue, catching the Romans completely off guard, and once there, he inflicted a series of devastating defeats on them. His masterpiece was the Battle of Cannae. Here, Hannibal, with a smaller army, faced a massive Roman force. He intentionally allowed his center to fall back, luring the overconfident Romans into a trap. Then his stronger flanks closed in from the sides, and his cavalry attacked from the rear, completely encircling and annihilating the Roman army. It is still studied today as the perfect example of a double envelopment. For years, Hannibal rampaged through Italy, a constant threat that brought Rome to its knees. He was the enemy they could not defeat. So how did Rome survive Hannibal? They produced a general of their own who could match his genius: Scipio Africanus. Scipio was different from other Roman commanders. He studied Hannibal's tactics, learned from his enemy's successes, and adapted. He realized that trying to beat Hannibal in a head-on battle in Italy was a losing game. So he changed the game. Instead of fighting Hannibal directly, Scipio took the war to Hannibal's home turf, invading Carthaginian territory in North Africa. This brilliant strategic move forced Carthage to recall Hannibal from Italy to defend his homeland. The final showdown came at the Battle of Zama. Here, Scipio used Hannibal's own tactics against him. He anticipated Hannibal's elephant charge and created lanes in his formations for the beast to run through harmlessly. He then used his superior cavalry to outflank and encircle the Carthaginian army, just as Hannibal had done to the Romans at Cannae. Scipio didn't just defeat Hannibal, he out-Hannibaled Hannibal. He saved Rome and earned his title, Africanus, the conqueror of Africa. Of course, no discussion of ancient generals would be complete without talking about the man who arguably took Roman military might to its zenith, Julius Caesar. Caesar was more than just a general. He was a politician, an author, and a master of propaganda. His campaigns in Gaul, which he chronicled in his own writings, are a masterclass in siege warfare, logistics, and psychological operations. Take the siege of Alesia. Caesar was besieging the Gallic chieftain Vercingetorix inside a fortress. But then a massive Gallic relief army arrived, trapping Caesar's army between the fortress and the new threat. Caesar was now the one under siege. What did he do? He built 2 lines of fortifications, one facing inward to keep Vercingetorix pinned down, and another facing outward to hold off the relief army. He was fighting a war on 2 fronts simultaneously. It was an incredible feat of engineering and military discipline. Against all odds, Caesar held his ground, defeated the relief force, and forced Alesia to surrender. This victory effectively won him all of Gaul and cemented his reputation as a military genius. His famous phrase, Veni, Vidi, Vici, I came, I saw, I conquered, perfectly encapsulates his swift and decisive style. From the deserts of Egypt to the forests of Gaul, the ancient world was a stage for these incredible military minds. They were innovators who rewrote the rules of warfare. Alexander's combined arms, Hannibal's tactical brilliance, Scipio's strategic adaptability, and Caesar's engineering prowess, each brought something unique to the art of war. Their strategies were so effective that they are still taught and analyzed thousands of years later. They understood that war wasn't just about numbers or brute force, it was about psychology, logistics, terrain, and timing. But their impact goes far beyond the battlefield. Their conquests spread cultures, languages, and ideas across vast distances. Alexander's campaigns initiated the Hellenistic period, blending Greek and Eastern cultures. Rome's expansion, driven by generals like Scipio and Caesar, laid the foundations of Western civilization, spreading Roman law, language, and engineering across Europe and the Mediterranean. The world we live in today was fundamentally shaped by the victories and defeats of these ancient commanders. Their stories are tales of ambition, genius, rivalry, and destiny. They show us the heights of human achievement and the brutal realities of ancient warfare. They were larger-than-life figures who commanded immense power and wielded it to change the course of history forever. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through antiquity. Who is your favorite ancient general? Let us know in the comments below. We've only scratched the surface today, so if you enjoyed this video and want to see more deep dives into the lives of these legendary figures, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to History of the Ancient World. We'll see you in the next one.